No one really prepares you for what it means to raise twins. You hear the congratulations. You see the smiles. You imagine double the joy, but what no one truly explains is the relentless exhaustion that quietly takes over your life. The nights blur into days, and sleep becomes a distant memory you can barely recall. You start questioning how long a human body can function without rest, how your mind can stay focused when it feels like it's constantly running on empty. This isn't just about being tired, it's about surviving a level of fatigue that reshapes your reality. If you're a parent of twins, or about to become one, what you're about to hear might be the most honest and practical survival guide you'll ever need. Becoming a parent of twins is one of the most intense, beautiful, and overwhelming experiences a person can go through, especially in those first months when sleep deprivation hits harder than anything you've ever known. In this video, we're going to explore not just the reality of extreme fatigue, but real, practical strategies that can help you survive and even function during this demanding phase. If you're feeling exhausted, mentally drained, or like you're barely holding things together, you're not alone, and more importantly, there are ways to make this journey more manageable. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss content that can truly support you through real-life challenges like this. The first weeks with twins often feel like stepping into a completely different dimension of time and energy, where normal rules no longer apply and your previous understanding of rest becomes irrelevant. Sleep is no longer something you can rely on as a daily reset. Instead, it turns into fragmented moments, scattered unpredictably across a 24-hour cycle. Your body begins to adapt in ways that feel unnatural, functioning on minimal recovery while still being expected to perform at a high level of care and attention. This constant state of alertness creates a mental fog that slowly builds, making even simple decisions feel overwhelming. The challenge is not just physical exhaustion but the emotional weight that comes with it, as patience wears thin and resilience is tested daily. What makes sleep deprivation with twins particularly intense is the lack of synchronization in their needs, especially in the early months when feeding schedules rarely align. Just when one baby falls asleep, the other wakes up, creating a continuous loop that prevents any meaningful rest. This cycle can quickly become discouraging, leading to feelings of helplessness as you realize that traditional advice about sleep when the baby sleeps doesn't quite apply in the same way. Instead, you are forced to navigate a rhythm that feels chaotic, where rest must be strategically captured rather than passively received. Understanding this reality is the first step toward adapting to it, because resisting it only increases frustration. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is redefining what rest means during this phase of life. Instead of waiting for long, uninterrupted sleep, you begin to value shorter, intentional periods of recovery that allow your body to recharge just enough to keep going. Even a 20-minute rest can have a significant impact when approached with purpose, especially if you allow yourself to fully disconnect during that time. Letting go of the expectation of perfect sleep opens the door to a more realistic approach, one that aligns with your current circumstances instead of fighting against them. Another essential strategy involves creating a system of shared responsibility whenever possible, even if it requires unconventional arrangements. Whether it's alternating shifts with a partner, asking for help from family members, or even hiring temporary support if feasible. The goal is to ensure that each caregiver has protected time for rest. This is not a luxury but a necessity, because sustained sleep deprivation affects not only your physical health but also your emotional stability and decision-making abilities. Recognizing that you don't have to do everything alone is a critical step toward survival. Nutrition plays a surprisingly important role in managing extreme fatigue, even though it's often overlooked during this stage. When your body is deprived of sleep, it relies even more heavily on consistent, nourishing fuel to maintain energy levels. Skipping meals or relying solely on quick, low-quality snacks can worsen the feeling of exhaustion, creating a cycle that becomes harder to break. Prioritizing simple, balanced meals that include protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates can make a noticeable difference in how you feel throughout the day. Hydration is another factor that can significantly impact your energy, yet it is easy to neglect when your focus is entirely on caring for two infants. Dehydration can mimic and intensify the symptoms of fatigue, making you feel even more drained than you already are. Keeping water within reach at all times and making a conscious effort to drink regularly can help support your body in ways that are often underestimated. These small, consistent actions accumulate over time, contributing to a more stable baseline of energy. Mental resilience becomes one of your greatest assets during this period, as the challenges you face are not just physical but deeply psychological. The constant interruption of sleep can lead to irritability, mood swings, and a sense of being overwhelmed that feels difficult to escape. Developing simple mental practices, such as focusing on one task at a time or using brief moments of stillness to reset your mind, can help you maintain a sense of control. These practices don't eliminate fatigue, but they make it more manageable. Lowering expectations is not a sign of failure but a strategic adjustment that allows you to conserve energy for what truly matters. During the first months with twins, maintaining a perfectly organized home or adhering to previous standards of productivity is simply unrealistic. Accepting that some things will be temporarily set aside creates space for you to focus on caregiving and recovery. This mindset shift reduces unnecessary pressure and helps prevent burnout, which is a real risk when expectations remain unchanged. Creating a simple and flexible routine can also provide a sense of structure in an otherwise unpredictable environment. While strict schedules may not always be possible, having a general rhythm to your day can reduce decision fatigue and make it easier to anticipate needs. This includes planning feeding times, rest periods, and even small breaks for yourself whenever possible. Structure does not eliminate chaos, but it creates a framework that makes it easier to navigate. Physical movement, even in small amounts, can surprisingly improve your energy levels despite the exhaustion you feel. Gentle stretching, short walks, or light activity can stimulate circulation and help reduce the heaviness that comes with prolonged fatigue. The key is to keep expectations low and focus on consistency rather than intensity. These moments of movement also serve as a mental reset, offering a brief shift in focus that can be refreshing. Connection with others is another crucial element that often gets overlooked when dealing with sleep deprivation. Isolation can intensify feelings of exhaustion, making challenges seem larger than they are. Reaching out to other parents, whether in person or online, can provide reassurance, practical advice, and emotional support. Knowing that others have gone through similar experiences and made it through can be incredibly grounding. Sleep training is a topic that often comes up, but in the early months, the focus should be on gradual alignment rather than rigid methods. Encouraging both babies to feed and sleep at similar times, when possible, can slowly create more predictable patterns. This process requires patience and flexibility, as each baby has unique needs. But even small improvements in synchronization can lead to more consistent rest over time. Understanding your limits is essential, especially when your instinct may be to push through exhaustion without pause. There is a difference between resilience and overexertion, and recognizing when you need help or rest is a sign of strength, not weakness. Ignoring these limits can lead to more serious physical and emotional consequences, making recovery even more difficult. Technology can be a helpful tool when used intentionally. Whether it's tracking feeding schedules, setting reminders, or using white noise to promote better sleep for your babies. While it cannot replace rest, it can reduce mental load and make daily tasks more manageable. Simplifying your environment in this way allows you to conserve mental energy for more important decisions. The relationship with your partner can also be affected during this time, as both of you navigate extreme fatigue and increased responsibility. Communication becomes more important than ever, even if it's brief and focused. Supporting each other, acknowledging the challenges, and working as a team can strengthen your bond rather than strain it. This shared experience, while difficult, can become a source of connection. It's important to remember that this phase, as intense as it is temporary. The first months with twins are uniquely demanding, but they do not last forever. As your babies grow, their patterns will gradually stabilize and opportunities for rest will increase. Holding on to this perspective can provide a sense of hope during the most challenging moments. Adapting to sleep deprivation is not about eliminating it entirely, but learning how to function within its limits while protecting your well-being as much as possible. Each small strategy you implement contributes to a larger system of survival, one that allows you to continue showing up for your children while also taking care of yourself. This balance is not perfect, but it is achievable. Ultimately, surviving the first months with twins requires a combination of practical strategies, mental resilience, and a willingness to let go of unrealistic expectations. It is a process of constant adjustment, where you learn through experience what works best for your unique situation. The journey is demanding, but it also reveals a level of strength and adaptability that you may not have known you possessed. Sleep deprivation in the early months of raising twins is more than just a challenge, it's a transformation. It pushes you beyond your perceived limits, reshapes your priorities, and reveals a depth of resilience that only experience can uncover. While the exhaustion may feel endless in the moment, it is part of a phase that gradually gives way to stability, rhythm, and growth. Every sleepless night, every moment of fatigue, carries within it a quiet strength that is building you into a more adaptable, aware, and capable version of yourself. And one day, when rest finally returns in fuller measure, you will look back and realize that you didn't just survive, you evolved.